Good noon, all of you. I hope all of you are hale and hearty. Better weather today. Is it the same for you? Right. Good noon, Puneet, Sanil, Anuja, Megha. Hello, Kinjal, Abhilasha, Avoli. Hi, Vicky, Harry, Lata, Sameer. Good afternoon. Welcome to this session. Okay, I am not on the correct slide. Let me just change the slide. Okay, so yes, today we have a session on MAH CET sentence improvement. Sentence improvement is a part of course, your grammar portion. And in the grammar portion, there are a number of other question types also that we will talk about tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we have a grammar capsule of sorts. Okay, and we will talk about that. And there I'll talk to you about error spotting, sentence correction. Some of you asked for probable starters questions, so I've also hunted for those. Okay, we'll also do match the following. So a lot more question types coming up tomorrow. Today, let's go with a micro focus on sentence improvement. Let's actually improve at this because there are a number of questions today, right? So we'll see how to attempt these questions, what should be the strategy, all of those things, right? Okay, so let's begin. Good afternoon, all of you who've just joined. And here is the first question on your screen after the directions, of course. The sentence is divided into three parts, 1, 2, and 3. For each part, a corresponding statements, there is a corresponding statement that suggests a correction. Okay. Determine the part that requires correction. So, to make you understand this better, if you can see there are three parts here. Okay. This is one whole sentence that has been divided into three parts. Now, these are the correction statements. A is for 1, B is for 2, 3 is for C. I mean, C is for 3, right? So, see first of all whether there is an error here. Does it require correction? If it does, then is A the correct correction, right? If yes, then you would say, okay, 1 requires correction and A is the correction statement. So, basically, then you would mark, let's say that, okay, yes, 1 requires correction. So, 2 or 5 is going to be your answer. I hope this makes sense. All right, then let's see what you say. No specs today. I was not able to find my specs actually. I didn't have the time to find them, so no specs. Anyway, my power is not that high. So Shriyan says, is this on the level of IPMAT? Yes, Shriyan, this is. IPMAT's level of sentence correction is really good actually. Okay, so this is on that level. Praveen, 1, okay. Good afternoon, Kashish. Vicky says 1. All right. Saurabh says 3. Anuja 1. Sanil 1. Okay. Aditya 3. Sameer says only 2 and 3. Okay, so 1. All right. All right. So, the animals of this forest are primarily carnivores. I don't see any error in 1. Okay, so 2 and 5 actually can be eliminated. So good, I think none of you have said 2 and 5 as the options. Okay, good. Now, let's look at 2 then. But supplementing their diets, the animals of this forest are primarily carnivores, but supplementing their diets of birds, insects, and other animals. Or, although they supplemented their diets of birds, insects, and other animals. Okay, just a second, just a second. This is are primarily carnivores. Okay, and but supplementing. The animals of that forest were primarily carnivores, although they supplemented their diets by fruits on some occasions. Okay, so just a second. There seems to be an error in this question formation. We supplement something with something, right? Supplement A with B, right? So 3 is fine. 3 does not need any correction. So only 2 or only 1 and 2. That's what we have to see. So actually both 1 and 2. 2 is going to be our answer, okay? Because the animals of that forest were primarily carnivores, although they supplemented their diets of birds, insects, and other animals. So this makes sense together, right? This has to be were, right? This has to be were, and although they supplemented their diets. So these two make sense together, and that's why only 1 and 2. Only 1 and 2. Okay. Does this make sense? Why 2? My bad. Initially, I said that 2 should be eliminated. 2 is the answer here because the correction statements A and B make sense together. Right? Clear to everybody? Because otherwise B as a correction statement will not make sense. If I say R and then I say supplemented. All right. Hope this is clear to everybody and I can move to the next question. So the next question again is of this type only, right? Let's see. So 1, 2 and 3, A, B and C are given as correction statements. Tell me. Which is the correct correction statement. That's also something that you have to see. Otherwise, there is no point of giving the correction statement, no? Otherwise, I would just ask you to spot the errors. Still only B makes sense in the case of an argument. Aditya, I didn't get you. 2, okay. All right, okay. So I'm going back to question 1 because some of you have a query in this. See this, here in this question you are also given correction statements. These are called correction statements. So now see, basically my idea is that this sentence should make sense as a whole. Okay, so if what I did was I looked at 3 first, okay, because this has supplemented or supplementing, whatever. So you supplement X with Y. Okay, so with is the preposition that is required. Supplement is basically adding something. So with is the preposition. So that's why I felt, okay, C is absolutely incorrect as a correction statement and 3 is fine. It does not really need a correction. That's how I eliminated 3 options right away. 3 options I eliminated right away. Now I was left with only 1 and 2 and only 2. Okay. Now the animals of this forest are primarily carnivores. Either I should say, although they supplement, right? This is definitely erroneous. You could spot that, right? 2 is definitely erroneous. You could spot that. But if I am accepting this as a correction, supplemented, that means the previous part should also be in the past tense, no? So the animals of that forest were primarily carnivores, although they supplemented their diet of birds, insects, and other animals with fruits on some occasions. Now this makes perfect sense. So once I incorporate correction in both 1 and 2 and keep 3 as it is, then the sentence would make sense, and that's why I said that 2 is the answer and not 3. Okay, I hope this makes sense. All right then. Coming back to this question. Okay, a lot of you said 2 for this. Is it? C is definitely erroneous again. As a correction statement, it is erroneous. Right. So this of course cannot be. And moreover, this is fine. Making the throw relatively easier. No error here. No error here, right? So because 3 is fine, these these 3 options are eliminated. Now let's check 2. So In earlier designs, the weight of the javelin used in sports, first of all, this is wrong, is concentrated. If I'm saying earlier designs, that means I'm talking about the past. So is concentrated is wrong. Then, but now it is lined. What is this it? What does this it refer to? But now it is lined with metal through its length. What do these pronouns refer to? If I connect it with the previous phrase, with the previous clause, actually it refers to weight, which is wrong, right? It should refer to the javelin itself. The javelin is lined. So that's the problem in both 1 and 2 here, right? So now see, this is correct. Once designed with its weight, it's now with javelin's weight. Once designed with its weight concentrated in the corners, the javelin used in sports is now lined with metal throughout its length. Now I am referring correctly to the javelin. So A and B are the correct corrections and 2 makes perfect sense. Then 2 is the answer. I hope now even the previous one would be clearer to you, right? We've applied a very similar method for this one as well, right? Any query, ask me. Otherwise, we are going to the third question of this type. So the act of rubbing stones together to produce sparks were humankind's trying to create a source of light and not a tool to cooking food. All right. Ananjan says 3. Makaran says 3. Praveen 3. Okay. Sanil 3. Okay. Quite a few threes. How many questions like this? See, there is no fixed number of questions of this type. Okay. So I think in 2020, MAH CET 2020, up to 5 questions of this type were asked. Okay, wherein parts there were, what is this? In a way, this is error correction only. No, you first spot errors and then you correct them, right? So you just have to see, okay, this is erroneous. If you feel, okay, second looks like it's erroneous, then you go and see if B is making any changes in it. Yes, B is making changes in it. It says was and it says attempt instead of trying. So now evaluate, are these changes correct? If these changes are correct, that means yes, second definitely requires a correction. So basically what you have to do is, you have to see how different your correction statements are from your original statements and whether these differences are correct differences or not. That's it. Okay. So I've got 4, 3, 5. All right. I've got 1 also. Option 3. Okay. Some of you say that. All right. So here it's a subject verb agreement concept actually. When I say dash was or were humankind's attempt, this should definitely be attempt, not humankind's trying, but humankind's attempt. Okay, so what was or were humankind's attempt? The act of rubbing stones together. The act is singular, so it should be was. Okay, 2 is definitely erroneous. 2 definitely requires a correction. A seems fine, the act of rubbing stones together to produce sparks, not the act to rub stones together for producing sparks. The first one is fine, so it does not need any correction. Now 2 and 3 or only 2. So let's have a look at 3. And not a tool to cooking food. And not a tool to cook food makes sense. No, when you want to give the purpose of something, what is the purpose of this tool? To cook food, not to cooking food. So 3 is the answer here. 2 and 3. Make sense? Very good. Those who said 3. Quite a few of you said 3. Alright. Good. So you identified the subject correctly. The act was the subject and was the verb that we required. Good. Okay, so these were 3 questions of this type wherein you are given a sentence divided into 3 parts and a corresponding correction statement is given to you. Okay, the correction statement should also be correct. Okay, now Coming to this one, so quite long instructions, but the question is actually an easy question type. Each sentence has a part that is underlined or has the whole of it underlined. Beneath the sentence, you will find 5 ways of phrasing the underlined part. So I think it's phrase replacement or sentence correction as we call it. Right. Okay. The first of these repeats the original. So option A is the same as the original sentence. The other 4 are different. Follow the requirements of standard written English to choose your answer, paying attention to grammar, word choice, and sentence correction. This is a very standard question type, something that is common across exams. And honestly, I think GMAT is the pioneer of this question type. Okay, you see a lot of such questions on the GMAT. So this is exactly of the same type. So now a part of this sentence has been underlined. You have to find out the best way of phrasing this part. A is the same as the original. Okay. A good score in the verbal section, Nemi. So that depends on what, let's say, what is your strength, what is your weakness. If the verbal section is your strong section, then you can actually score a 40 plus. Okay. Let's see what you say for this. So Roosters has given his or her opinion. 35 plus, all right. Ananjan says E. Ananjan, what does your name mean? I've heard Anjan, but Ananjan is new for me. E, okay. All right. So most of you say E. Very good. Okay. So that means now you've got a hang of parallelism and how it works. We have to keep whatever phrase this is, we have to keep it parallel with the subjects that come later. So we are comparing, right? Comparison happens between two like things or two like persons. So we can't compare respect with these people. We can compare other people with these people. So like Munshi Premchand and Dharamveer Bharti, Harivansh Rai Bachchan and Mahadevi Verma, now I'm making the right comparison. Good. Very good. Okay, so E is the answer. What we have to do is we have to find the best way of phrasing this phrase. Okay, basically you have to find out is if this is correct or not. If this is not correct, then replace it with the correct phrase. That's what you have to do. Okay, I hope this is clear. Sorry. So E is the answer. I'm just looking for any queries. No, there aren't any. Okay, so we can move to the next question then. Okay. This entire thing is underlined. Let's see what you say. Okay. Sanil says B. Sanil, I've included a question that has though, even though, although today. You were asking about it yesterday. Okay. B. All right. A lot of B's I've got. Others. Ananjan means flawless. Good. Very different name. BE. Okay. All right. Good. I've got some correct answers now. E is the answer here, not B. E is the answer, not B. Let's see why. So increasing weight when not accompanied by corresponding increase. Shouldn't it be by a corresponding increase? Moreover, possibly lead. Can I say possibly lead? Either I should say can lead, right, instead of possibly lead, or I should say leads, because increasing weight is singular. So this one should be leads then, right? Either possibly leads or can lead. So this is problematic because of not having the article and because of subject-verb agreement error. So E is the answer here. Increasing weight if not accompanied by a corresponding increase. Now see, corresponding is modifying increase. It is an adjective that is modifying the noun increase here. Okay. It is not modifying unaccompanied correspondingly. So this was the original error. That's something that I spotted when I read the original part. Okay. And so it has to modify increase. Okay, not correspondingly increase but a corresponding increase in muscle mass can lead. So this is fine now, no errors. E is the answer. Okay, you can answer the poll in the chat box. All right. E, why not C? Why not C? Okay, when it was can lead, when it was past tense, can lead present tense. So tense inconsistency. Okay. Also no here as well. So multiple problems in C. Hope this makes sense. Accompanied should be followed by. Yes, yes. Accompanied, unaccompanied should be followed by. Please guide if possibly lead is correct over lead possibly. Okay. It can, just a second. This can. We should place possibly first. This can possibly lead to, let's say, diabetes, a lifestyle related disorder. So lead possibly does not make sense. This can possibly lead. Basically, I'm not sure. These are called adjectives of when I'm not certain about something, right? Instead of saying this can definitely lead, so basically adjective of degree this is called. Instead of saying that okay, I am sure, I'm saying this can possibly lead. So degree adjective should be placed before the verb. Okay, possibly, definitely. All right. Now is the answer here. Coming to the, okay, so there were two questions of this type. So there's one more. All right. So I hope you've been enjoying the session so far. If yes, then attempt this question and correctly tell me what the answer for this one should be. Let's see who answers the fastest. Welcome, Aditya. I hope E is visible to everybody. C, B, okay. All right. C again. Okay. E also I've got. Okay. All right. So that means this is posing a bit of a challenge for you. I'm getting diverse responses here. Confused. Okay. Okay. Let's understand the meaning of these various fragments. Machine A is more efficient at shredding these plastic sheets than is machine B. Okay, than is machine B. So this construction is unnecessarily long. Okay, moreover, the comparison is between machine A and machine B. So why create an unnecessary distance between machine A and machine B? Machine A is more efficient than machine B. That's how I should say machine A is more efficient than machine B. So this original sentence, first of all, creates an unnecessary distance between machine A and machine B comparison. And secondly, it is wordy. It is unnecessarily long. Okay, now let's look at B, because quite a few of you have said this. Machine A is more efficient at shredding these plastic sheets than machine B. The impression that this sentence gives is that machine A is more efficient at doing this basically. Just a second, wait, sorry. I've placed the brackets incorrectly. Machine A is more efficient at shredding these plastic sheets than machine B. So that means machine A can do two things. It can shred these plastic sheets also, and it can shred machine B also. That's the impression that actually option B gives. Okay, so machine A is more efficient at shredding these plastic sheets than shredding machine B. That's the meaning of B, and it's absolutely incorrect. Okay, so we should not create an unnecessary distance in this comparison. We should simply say machine A is more efficient than machine B. Okay, machine A is more efficient than machine B at shredding these plastic sheets. So C is the answer here. Okay, and if you see here, when I say converting them, converting what? The plastic sheets only, no? So plastic sheets should be placed near to this phrase. Okay, so C is our most appropriate answer here. I hope you've understood the meaning of B. Very important to get that. All right. Good, those who said C. Acha, now E, yes. Let's look at E. Machine A shreds, again, the same error. Machine A shreds plastic more efficiently. It shreds plastic more efficiently than machine B. That means it can shred plastic sheets also. Okay, it can shred machine B also, but it shreds plastic more efficiently than machine B. Right? So, again, it retains the same error as B. Same error as B. Okay, D misses a verb. There is no verb in B. I need this is no, this is the verb. So if I place D here, if I replace that phrase with D, there will be no verb in the entire sentence. Right? So D is missing a verb. And E, have you understood why E is not the answer? E has the same error as B. It gives the impression that machine A can shred plastic also, machine A can shred machine B also, but it shreds plastic more efficiently than machine B. Okay, than it shreds machine B. That's the idea. Okay. Clear to everybody? Any query? Any query? Ask me. This slide is very disturbing. Which slide? Okay. Probably you mean the ticker. This ticker that's there. A sentence has been expressed in 5 different ways. Now, this is just another way of asking you. Basically, all your grammar questions are ultimately making you spot errors, right? So, this is just another way of making you spot errors. You have one sentence expressed in 5 different ways. Identify the option that expresses the sentence correctly in terms of standard English. Right? Okay, okay. Should there be not and instead of a comma after sheets? Or the and instead. Instead of a comma after plastic sheets. Instead converting them. No. Why? What is the contradiction? Acha, instead of a comma, sorry, shouldn't there, okay, I am sorry, I read it incorrectly. And, okay, and converting them. And converting them. Machine A is more efficient than machine B at shredding these plastic sheets. No, I don't mean that these two things are separate. Shredding and converting are not two separate activities that I need to join using and. Okay, basically I'm saying it is shredding, and what is the result? The result of all this shredding is that they get converted to small plastic granules, right? So shredding and converting are not two separate activities. The conversion is a result of shredding. That's why and will be incorrect here in fact. Okay, all right. Is this a modifier question? More efficient than, it's actually about placement. Yes, it is comparison. No, it is a parallelism question. Remember, comparison happens only between two like things. The comparison needs to be consistent, parallel, correct. So here they end up comparing the wrong things, B and E. Okay, so it's actually about consistency in comparisons. Okay, all right. Good afternoon, Yash. So 5 different ways. One sentence. This is the same sentence. See, this as though, even though, although. Right? So tell me. Look at this. Tell me which is the correct answer here. The correct sentence. Let's see what you say. So far I've got C's. That's okay, Ananya. You can watch the session at your pace. That's the beauty of YouTube sessions. Okay, okay. C, all right. So all of you in one voice says that C is the answer. Although this disease is curable, it is so draining. So see, yet, and, these make A and B incorrect, right? There has to be a contrast. There has to be a contrast here, right? I mean to say that, okay, fine, it's not like it's incurable, it's not like it's not curable, but it is extremely draining. That's what I want to say. So A misses that contrast. B, when I put a while, that is enough to show that there is a contrast. So yet need not come here. Yet need not come here. D has a problem that it mentions any energy. It leaves a person with almost any energy. It should have been it does not leave a person. So any is used primarily in negative sentences and in questions. In negative sentences and in questions. So it does not leave with any. So both of these have that error, right? Eliminated. C is the only one that we are left with, right? Now, yesterday a question was asked, what is the difference between although, though and even though? Although and though are the same, okay? Even though has a stronger tone to it. It's more forceful. Even though, you are emphasizing the contrast. That's when you say even though. Although and though are the same in terms of meaning. Right? Hope this is clear. Okay. All right. Coming to the next one then. Just a second. Any queries? No. Good. So your next question again has 5 sentences. This I have picked up from an article in Eon, in case some of you have read it. This sentence. I've got a response also, very quick. Okay. Yet is not required with although. No. Although, though, even though, with none of these, yet is required. Yet or comma, both will do. No, yet will not do, Anuja. Yet is incorrect. When you say though, although, even though, while, you don't put a yet. You don't need two contrast words. No, one is enough. Okay. C, B, A, D. All right. Tomorrow we have grammar capsule, MAHCET grammar capsule. On Tuesday we have 50 important vocabulary words, part 3 on your request, on your demand. We've got that session added, right? So that's the schedule for the next 2 days. After that, even I don't remember. Okay. B, C, D. All right, all right. But yes, your crash course has begun, and you'll be having a number of sessions. Again, the idea is to cover all the areas, major areas: vocabulary, grammar, verbal logic, RCs, all the major areas, all the major question types. That is the endeavor for the next 50 days. Okay. All right, so I've got varied responses in this one, so I can see that probably this posed a bit of a challenge for you, right? I've got quite a lot of C's, okay, then some B's sprinkled with B's and D's, and I've got one or two E's as well. Okay. So, though the term Dargistan is not mentioned on any map, okay, this part seems fine. It is a region that comprises, okay, so actually the error here is a very basic error, okay. What is, if I ask you, if just look at this clause here, this part, what is the subject? What is the subject here? Yes, subject of this clause. We know what subject and verb are, so tell me what is the subject here. If I am talking about one mountain range, Shriyans, then it is singular. But if I am talking about multiple mountain ranges, then it is plural. Okay. Angel, a crash course for CAT will likely begin when CAT is relatively nearer. Okay, because MAHCET is nearer, that's why we've begun one for MAHCET. And in between this, we will have sessions for CAT as well. Okay, it's not like for the next 50 days there will be only MAHCET sessions. No. For instance, just yesterday I had a tone and style words, right, session with you. That's relevant, very relevant for CAT as well. Okay. No, no, it's not just for VRC. You will meet all the faculty members, okay? So, I think you have these timings, no? 12 to 3 or whatever your timings are. So, you will meet all the other faculty members, okay? We'll have multiple sessions for multiple sections. No, no, it's not for VRC. Just not just for VRC. Okay? All right, all right. So, uh, what else have I got? The term Dardistan. Yes, Vicky, absolutely correct. The term Dardistan, Ananjan, correct. This is the subject here. Okay, so term is the subject, right? And then I have named the term. Can I say this term is a region that comprises? It here refers to the term, right? The term Dardistan, in a way, I am saying though the term is not mentioned, it is a region. But can a term be a region? That's the problem in this question. A term cannot be a region. So this it refers to term and says it is a region. That's the problem. So A eliminated, B eliminated, E eliminated very easily. We're left with C and D. So though the term Dardistan is not mentioned on any map, it refers to a region. Now it is correct. The term can only refer to a region that comprises the mountain range or the mountain ranges. We are talking about multiple mountain ranges here, not one range. Okay, so for instance, the Himalayas or Himalaya, you can call them Himalaya also. The Himalayas or Himalaya, that is one mountain range. The Alps, one mountain range. The Andes, one mountain range. But here I am talking about multiple mountain ranges. Okay, so this has to be ranges and not range. And therefore, D is the answer. Okay, clear? All right, Anuja, I'll check what you are saying. Okay, in my knowledge, we do not use another contradicting connector with although. Okay, but I'll still check what you are saying. Okay, uh, all right. That the term that this time term was the subject. Okay. All right, all right. So D is the answer. Now, coming to the next one, why not A? I hope you've understood now. Why not A? We can't call a term a region. Okay, we can't call a term a region. Plus range, this error is also present in A. Okay, so let's look at this question. Meanwhile, let me just check although and yet. We don't, I was correct. Okay, so probably you must have seen this in some conversation or in some informal English situation, but we don't. Comprises versus comprises of, yes, that was also an error that was there. Comprises is correct, comprises of is incorrect. Okay, comprises automatically means consists of, so the of is already there in it. Okay, Aditya. Okay, chalo, good. Kunal, coffee is the answer here, right? Together in this context. Okay, grammar lectures, spotting the error questions, what to do. Okay, all right, we'll discuss this, okay. So I just checked Cambridge, I just checked Oxford, these two sources, and they do not use yet with although. Okay, in case you've read them, you must have read them in some colloquial informal contexts, right? But for our purposes, for our examination purposes, we will not put yet with although, though, even though. Okay, all right. Now, coming to this one, to understand how the natural theologians made their arguments require us. Okay, so here itself I have spotted an error. Again, require is a verb here, right? So you ask the question what? What require or requires? Whatever fits. So you realize that this one activity, doing this one thing, to understand how the natural theologians made their arguments. So this part is singular. This is singular. So to understand this requires us, not require us. So eliminated. Then, so just a second. Oh, there is this error in almost all the sentences. Yeah, eliminated, eliminated. What easy ho gaya? Is the answer. To understand how the natural theologians made their arguments requires us to understand the purpose of proof differently. Absolutely. Just one correct answer here. You just had to see that this is the verb and then find out what is the subject of this verb. Clear? Hope this is clear to everybody. I think quite a few of you study in this. So error spotting questions, why you may face a problem in those is one reason could be that you've been practicing questions concept wise. Let's say so far you've just practiced questions like this, that okay, all the noun errors, all the pronoun errors. In that case, when you encounter a mixed question that can have errors from multiple areas, so you may not be able to spot them. That could be one thing. Another thing could be that you're reading your sentences very speedily or in a superficial manner. In grammar, that does not work. Okay, in RC passages, yes, we ask you to read at a relatively urgent speed, right? But in in grammar, you have to read carefully. Basically, read with a fault finding approach, right? You have to become those people who find faults with everything. So read with a very analytical bent. Okay, and that means reading it carefully, reading it relatively slowly. Third thing that could be a problem is that you're not, when you are given an error spotting question, basically something is, a sentence is divided into fragments. So third problem could be that you're not able to make connections between these fragments, right? So you need to acknowledge the fact that this is one whole sentence that has been divided into fragments. It has to make sense collectively as a sentence. Okay, so don't just focus on it fragment by fragment in silos. That's not how it works. Okay, look at it as one entire sentence. Fourth could be that the question is genuinely difficult or you're not aware of the concept. Okay, if that is the case, then it's a learning for you. You've learned a new concept. Now you should not forget it. Okay, and if the question is genuinely difficult, again, you'll end up learning here something or the other here. So these are some of the common mistakes, some of the common gaps that can exist in a grammar error spotting question. Okay, see what is the error there. If one of these is an area, then you know what to do now. Okay, so now you say A and E are the same. Abhilasha, A and E are not the same. बच्चे require requires. Okay, although के साथ सिर्फ but आएगा. Although के साथ कुछ भी नहीं आएगा यार. किसने कह दिया although के साथ कुछ आए? Although is enough to show contradiction. Although के साथ but भी नहीं आएगा. Okay. Dispose or dispose of logic similar to comprise, comprise of. Okay, so with dispose, see with dispose, she disposed of the litter, let's say. Okay, or the garbage. Litter sounds like it's a litter of puppies, so she disposed of the litter. So does it make sense to say she disposed the litter or she disposed the garbage? Yes, or should it be dispose of only here? So dispose and dispose of, this is situational, right? When you talk about getting rid of your waste, right? We talk about dispose of. Okay, we can't say just dispose there. I hope this is clear. Whereas when you mean it in the sense of a tendency to do something, so I say she is disposed to that thing. Okay, so she is disposed to sickness. That means वो जल्दी जल्दी sick हो जाती है. So there it's a difference in meaning when we use dispose and dispose of, and both are acceptable. But in comprise, comprise of is not acceptable. It's comprises only. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. What to do if you're weak in grammar? Then you need to practice questions. You need to learn various concepts related to grammar. Ren and Martin can help you. Very good. Okay. All right. All right. So I hope you've understood this. That is the answer here. This was not a difficult question at all. There was one error that was there in 4 sentences. So such questions are actually a boon to you. Okay. They are a blessing to you. Right. So any query so far? Yes, you can ask me. All right. Then I'm assuming that there are no queries. And this is it from my side. This is it from my side for today. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you did, then please go and press the like button. Tomorrow, I will meet you with a grammar capsule. And on Tuesday, we'll attempt some vocabulary questions, right? So the idea is to attempt to cover at least 50 vocabulary words, again through different question types, and they'll be high frequency words, right? So I think this much information I've given you 2 days schedule in advance. And here, this is our CAT comprehensive program. These are the details, right? And in case you want to know more, you can call up our counselors. We can stay connected with this group, right? Using this group. And the name of the group is BYJU'S MBA Doubts. The link must have been shared with you at some point or the other in the chat box. Welcome, welcome all of you, and thank you for attending. Okay. I ain't got nothing. No, Praveen, this is not correct. This is slang actually. This is informal colloquial English. I ain't got nothing. First of all, ain't is informal. Okay? Ain't is informal. You don't use it in formal context. Here, instead of ain't, you will say have not. Okay, I have not. Then this is a double negative. It's actually considered a cardinal sin in formal English, using a double negative. Okay? So, I have not got anything. I have not got anything. Now, the reason that this is incorrect is because we follow British English. This ain't got nothing is something that's it's a very, I don't want to get into this, but it's confined to racial slangs. Okay, so slangs that belong to a particular race, right? So when they use it among themselves, they understand each other, right? When it is used in dialogues in novels, it is considered acceptable. But because we follow British English, it is not acceptable in that context. Okay. All right, all right. Welcome, welcome. Okay. To sparkle, yes, scintilla is a spark. Correct, Amrit. Good. So, some of us have been doing etymology seriously. Great. Welcome, all of you. See you next time. Bye.